All right. Hey, this is Heather of Heather Loves Horror, and today's special guest is Jason Eliot, and I'm going to turn the tables over to him and allow him to introduce himself to everyone. So go ahead.
First of all, thank you for having me on, Heather. You are awesome. I
Oh.
check out all your stuff all the time. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I have a movie. We have a movie. A group of us put a movie out, and it premiered this last October. It's been picking up a lot of momentum. It's called Tales of a Scorpio Stinger. The background is the actual movie poster I designed. Well, sort of some of it, but yeah, it's really picking up some steam. I've entered a bunch of festivals. I haven't been turned down yet, so we're feeling really good that it's sort of something that I'm trying to do that's going to grow. It's in a movie format basically, but it really is kind of episodic. It's kind of borderline, since I'm doing a part 2, and there actually can be many episodes because in the movie she basically always will see something that brings her to the next episode. So she's always jumping episode to episode. There'll be one thing in an episode that brings her to a location and to a person who she's looking for. And of course, it's for people who hurt animals.
Love that. That's so awesome. And so it's called Tales of a Scorpio Stinger. Episode 1, The Cat's Meow. Is that correct?
Correct.
I wanted to get the full title in there.
Thank you.
So what was the inspiration behind it?
I've had this idea for a long time. I'm a musician. I grew up playing hardcore music with my friends, playing in bands, singing. I got it. I kind of left. I traveled around, did it in Arizona, Vermont, did some in New York, but basically I started playing acoustic and singing songs, and I felt like I love movies. I've loved movies my entire life, and Rob Zombie really gave me, like, I just kept thinking, if he can do it, not that I'm Rob Zombie's league, but I'm like, he gave me a lot of, encouragement without, literally encouraging me, but I was like, yeah, this is awesome. So just, you can mix the two, and I love his movie making and his style. Him and Tarantino are my favorite. So basically, the lead in the movie, she does a lot of animal rescue. And you can see on my IMDb, she directed and produced a movie called It's a Potcake Life. And basically that's the island dog of the Bahamas. And, they just keep multiplying, and, all small islands have huge, wild dog problems, feral dog problems. So basically she made this to bring awareness, and I was an executive producer on it. I do all I can on it. And, so I also foster, there's some clips on there with a pit bull that we bottle fed, and, basically, brought him, saved his life, basically. So I'm in that realm. I love animals, bird, whatever it is. I'm just a huge animal person. So I just felt like when I'm on like these pages like the Dodo and stuff like this, I just see when the bad part before the good, and I get this anger inside, like, who would do this to an animal, And this was kind of my outlet. I just wanted to, like, this is what I really want to do to these people, but you can't, so, but you want to. That's kind of the idea. So
that's pretty cool. That's really awesome. So how is it doing it, during a pandemic? Did it hinder y'all in any way? Were you still able to be productive? I mean, obviously you got the film out, but I know a lot of people have felt that it's slowed them down, but for me, I was able to get a lot done in 2020, but I'm not a film director or anything. I've only been in like one movie, so I have, like, it's kind of different for me as a podcasting.
Right.
No one can come into my home and tell me what I can or can't do, really. So the hindrance isn't there for me, as in for y'all have to follow certain protocols and everything.
Right. We got lucky. I actually, this movie started in 2017, and I started writing. putting everything together. I bought all my own equipment. So I didn't want to rely on somebody. And this is a good and a bad thing. It's like when you're doing everything, it's a lot. But also it's like if you don't get something, you have all the equipment and you can keep shooting it. So I just bought stuff within 3 years, just kept adding equipment. And we shot this in the beginning of 2019. And so what happened was we had a couple things happen where somebody was, it just during the edit time, it just took a lot longer than we anticipated. There was a lot going on. But eventually I sat on it for almost 3 or 4 months. When the pandemic hit, it was ready during the pandemic, but I just wanted to, I didn't want to jump and go, let's put it out now. I wanted it to be at Halloween. So I just sat on it. So I'll be honest, I missed the pandemic on this one, but I'm a little concerned. Right now I am in pre-production of When Pigs Fly. So in the movie, you'll see that, when you watch it, that she's going after a character named Julian Bram, and it's called When Pigs Fly. By the way, so the situations with the animals, I take these situations, it's sort of like an LA Law thing. These things really happen. Like what happened to the cats really happened. So I just changed the names and stuff. So I wanted to keep that real so people understand, like, this is real, like this is real in a way, so that really happened. So somebody really did that. So yeah, so I'm filming this the 2 weeks before Memorial Day. So I have it all set, it's locked in, and it is a weird feeling because I mean, if it got worse and locked down, all that time, money, it's just, you don't get that back. So it's a little concerning. Luckily, it didn't affect us on this episode.
That's good. And so to clarify, When Pigs Fly, is that episode 2 of Tales of the Slip?
Yeah. So it's episode 2. It could be chapter 2. We went with episode. I wanted to originally have them together, but it just takes so long. And this movie was SAG-AFTRA. SAG-AFTRA, that's a challenge that's a challenge all in itself. The paperwork, what you have to do. The producer of this, Evelyn Vaquero, she's also the lead. She did the casting. She's actual stunt person in real life, and all the people in the movie, most of the people, not all, are stunt people. They're professional stunt people who they've been in Power, Orange is the New Black. She had a featured in John Wick 3. So these people are out right now today working in the streaming television movie industry. So, I mean, it's just really cool to have all those people. I would never have been able to get that group together. So I owe a lot of the movie to the producer. She did so much for this movie to make this movie happen for me, because I had an idea, and I'm sure you have ideas. A lot of people have ideas, but to make it happen, it takes a lot. It takes a huge team. It just takes so much, and it put in perspective what it takes. So this was a huge learning experience for me, just what it actually takes. And this time around, as you know, I acted in the first one. I'm the pizza boy, or pizza guy. It's funny, I wrote Pizza Boy. This is a little behind the notes. I wrote Pizza Boy thinking that it was a different character, actually, and I wasn't going to act in the movie. I've acted before, but it didn't work out for this guy, so I never changed it. And because he was like, I don't know, he was a little younger, but I was just like, is that cute Pizza Boy? I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm a pizza man probably, but yeah, just little things like that that happen that are kind of cool little anecdotes. But yeah, the people in this that were involved with this, the one thing about writing writing, and the other co-director who worked on this and did so much work, Trey Lindsay, phenomenal. He's also effects. He did the effects on a movie called The Deeper You Dig that's out there right now. You can see it on Shudder. He did the effects on that. So he always said right around your location. So that movie was shot at my house. So I shot everything at the house, and then I just drove and filmed in front of a pizza place like I'm coming, just used everything around me And yeah, that's so I basically got just like I rented a place. It's a cabin in the woods. This one's going to be more this one is not going to have as many stunt people. The next episode, it's going to be more violent, actually. It's going to be more of a like serial slasher Jason Voorhees type, and she kind of goes a little more insane because I obviously don't have the stunt people lined up. So I'm writing around my location and who I have, lined up. So yeah, so writing around location was important. You can't write something if you can't get the get the location. A friend of ours lent us a bar too, which was great.
Cool. That's awesome. I was gonna ask you something about that and I just lost it. Oh, I was gonna say the lines that your character had when she comes downstairs in the gold outfit, that it cracked me up so much. You're like, what'd you say? What are you, Golden Spice or something?
So the rest of the girls upstairs, I didn't buy a ticket to the reunion tour, but I'm down.
Yeah, I thought you had some really great one-liners.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that was one of the things that we had pointed out whenever my co-host Mary and I did on the May Queens podcast. I think it was for the 2020 review episode that we did. We reviewed your movie and we were talking about how it was awesome. Her name's Evelyn, right?
Yes.
We just thought it was so cool that she played such a strong female lead, and her having, being a stunt woman and working on the set of John Wick 3 and, everything else she's done, that was just really, really cool to see and everything.
I thought that was important too. I specifically wanted and wrote that role for a female, and I kind of want having a Latino female. I mean, if you can recount any movies that have a Latino female smashing anyone in the head with a sledgehammer, I'd like to know what it. So I think that it's a wide open space, and I think that her strength and I directed her, but she got it right away. She knew, like, there's a fine line of being normal and joking and just looking like us, but that, like, just switching, and having that bloodlust for these bastards that she feels that she has to clean the earth with.
Right. Yeah, that was really awesome. Okay. So I am going to go back and forth on things because my questions are like all over the place. But let's see. So what, like, were you into theater when you were younger, or in high school or anything? What got you into everything? Did you start off as a musician and then go into that, or?
I was in high school. Mostly I was athletic. Baseball, wrestling, and just sports. I went into the Air Force. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force, and when I came out of the Air Force, me and my friends, they were all playing in a band, and I just I wanted in. So I just started singing with those guys, and the next thing you know, we were like the local band at a a ski resort where I'm from, Wilmington, Vermont. There's a ski resort area, and we'd play, one of the bars there a lot, and the scene there. And we practiced a lot. We were really good at what we did. It was a Pantera style-y kind of music, and we went to Arizona and played out there, and basically, through the years, I always loved the stage and I loved performing. And I think that eventually I learned that it goes hand in hand, like just having the confidence to be up there on stage and nothing phases you. That's basically what acting is. You have everyone around you and you just do what you do. And I don't have any experience or I was in a movie that Trey Lindsay, the director, did a long time ago called Crime Site. He gave me a bad guy scene where Evelyn was in it too. That's how we all met, and we reconnected on this, which was really cool. And I just play a son of a bitch in that. And the funny story is he has people like from the FBI coming after her or CIA, and they all have masks on and the black stormtrooper type outfits. and I'm in almost every one of those outfits, so I'm dying in like 20 different ways, you know. So I'm like, I die. So every movie I've been in so far, I die. So I
Oh,
do hope that one day I live to the end. Maybe I'm gonna have to write that to myself, mental note that I live in one of these movies. But no, no training or anything. I think it's just my personality. I've always been kind of, out front. I was kind of a class clowny kind of guy too. So I love comedy and horror. I think and I think you can see that in my writing. And comedy and horror to me go hand in hand. It's hard to do. It doesn't, you can, I made some of my stuff cheesy on purpose. I literally wanted to do that, like Evil Dead style kind of. But Rob Zombie's really good at that. He's so good at adding comedy and horror. And if you look at John Carpenter, The Thing and all, there's no real comedy in that. It's just that's a sci-fi horror movie. Texas Chainsaw, that's my favorite, slasher movie. There's not, we look at it now and watch it and we'll laugh at scenes, but when people went to the theater to see that, no one laughed. There's no comedy in it. But I really like the blend of the two.
yeah.
How about you? Do you like the blend of the two? Is that something that appeals to you? You like both?
Like for comedy?
Comedy and horror, like do you like them together?
Yes. For me, it depends on my mood. I love comedy horror. Now when I sit down and pick out a movie, like I said, I base it off of how I feel, and if I'm wanting something to scare the shit out of me, or if I'm wanting something to kind of pep me up, then I might throw in something like Cabin in the Woods or like Evil Dead 2. That's a good funny one where he does this little evil dead dance thing. But
that one movie, Dale, I forget, Tucker and Dale or whatever. That's more of a slapstick comedy. I think it's brilliant. That movie is so good. I love that movie. For that could easily have been awful. That movie could have easily, if you're like, but that movie was done so. It's a beautiful movie the way they did that. There's nothing else like that movie out there.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
It's very well done. Well, I was going to ask you about the casting for the role and for the roles, and you said that Evelyn had done that, right?
Evelyn did the casting for everyone, and we talked about it and went back and forth about it, and I kind of just put my trust in her. She's been in this business a lot, for a lot longer than I have, so she knows the people. She's worked with them. And once I saw everybody and I we got together, I knew they were perfect. The chemistry in the bar. So there's like a couple, like, to put in perspective, like the other director, he works actually filming for, I believe, his own company. So he didn't have, we don't have like I didn't have tons of time with these people, with these amazing talents. So basically, the bar fight scene that happened in one day. It was one extreme long day, and there's so much dialogue and fighting in that scene. I mean, I think we started at 8 a.m, and it was like 9:30 at night, and you're like, hello. It's like, I mean, it's incredible that whole scene is shot in one day, and the whole movie, the movie that was in the house and all those scenes, that was shot in 2 weekends. I mean, it was really like, so to put this in perspective, like, it's like you can't, and there was no, we need you back here, because these people are working. So it's like, it's hard to get people back. So it was, what we have is what, that's it. What you have is what. So I was really stoked when I finally saw the footage and how everything was coming together. Trey did the first pass on the edit. And then me and Evelyn, tightened, put some, we both worked on the edit also. And I was so excited to see what the final product for the, it's amazing, because a day when you're filming and you have, what you're trying to get done, it's a blink of an eye and you're like, did we get it? I hope we got everything, So it's the first episode was so humbling, so hard. It's so hard. I wanted to say that I grew up like criticizing movies. Like, I'm like, that movie sucks and this movie's great. Even if I say a movie is even if I say a movie's bad or anything, like, like that, I still have tons of respect for what goes on to make that movie, bad or good, what goes on to make that happen. It's so much work. It's a ton of work. My respect to anyone who makes a movie. Now, whether I like it or not, I still have my opinions. I'm still, but just like people do on my movie.
Yeah. You said that, and that had something else that I was going to ask you that went along with that. But I don't remember it, so I'll have to come back to it. But I was going to ask, how long did you work on the script or screenplay? I'm assuming you said since 2017, or?
I had the idea in 2017, and I just started making notes, characters, and funny thing, the names of my characters. I also do I'm a supervisor in like a level 5 in the city. That's why you'll see it on my page. I'm like up on a 62nd floor, and so I took names from some names from people around me, and I switched up their names. Like I work for Akira, so one of our clients. So I just took names, and because I didn't want to dwell on the perfect, I thought that when it came together, it worked out perfect. Giovanni is one of a guy who put a stone counter in for me, Look at the real star just showed up. So basically, I didn't want to dwell on names. So I got the names out of the way, and I would say that the whole script took me 3 months. 3 months to write.
That's really good. That's pretty impressive. And I was going to ask, what was the hardest thing about putting together the film?
I think the hardest thing basically was having everything work, the camera, the media download, having everything just flow. The hardest part, the most stressful part is knowing that you only have a certain amount of time to get this done. So I think the actors and everyone, they flew, everything worked out really good. The hardest part was just making sure the edit was the hardest part, just making sure it's color corrected and all that kind of stuff. That's the hardest part. I thought the actors, they made it easy. They were so good. I didn't have to, once I told, kind of gave them a vibe, they went with it. Wadi is the black character in the barroom fight. He was outstanding. I mean, he's just, to me, he was so natural. He's a natural actor. He's really good at it. And his chemistry with Kara, we never practiced that. We didn't do anything. So it was just it's on, it's go time. And it was great how they just made it happen. It was awesome, actually. It's impressive to watch.
Yeah. Well, and I was looking up at my TV because I was rewatching it earlier. I wanted to congratulate you because it says you have over 1.1 thousand views. So
yeah, a couple months. That's pretty cool.
That's amazing. So big congratulations.
Thank you very much. In 2 months, it's a 41 minutes. And to me, it's hard to keep someone's attention these days. So if I can have someone's attention and they can stay and watch for 41 minutes and watch it, and the feedback I'm getting, it's been awesome. Actually, it's amazing. Today's day and age, it's click, click, click. It's hard to, especially if you're not known. So that to have people, watch it and appreciate it, it feels really nice. To be honest with you, I've sang so many times in front of people. I have my own music, Jostle Productions, on Reverb Nation. I have Jostle. I've posted it before. Jostle is my band name, and it's Jason Jostle Eliot. I've never been nervous to put a song out. If people like it, no problem. If they do like it, awesome, because I'm doing everything. What you hear is me, everything. I record it, I perform it. But when you do a movie, I've never been more nervous, like at the premiere. It doesn't even compete because it isn't just me, it's everyone around me. If it's not if it's taken in a bad light, it's I feel it would feel like everyone wasted their time. You know what I mean? There's so much more than just me. It's a huge team. And in music, it's just me. You don't like it? I'll write a better song next time. This, it's like it's there, there's no going back. So that's the hardest thing about it, I think, is the nervousness of putting yourself out there.
Right. Well, and I do want to say though, as far as your music goes, like it's hard to put yourself out there anyway, and I think just being yourself is the best, the best thing that you can do. You don't want to be some version that someone else wants you to be, because you're not being yourself. And there's so many people out there who they kind of have negative views on life because they sit and they watch other people doing what they love and what they want to do. And I think people are so afraid to take that leap. And instead of being, proud for others or excited, sometimes they kind of get envious or whatever. And I just wish that more people would be like you and just live their life more vicariously and just be themselves and be true, just be true to yourself. And
that's awesome. The whole cast, honestly, the whole cast is like that. Like that they really are the greatest. There's no deep, like everyone is positive, and I think, and it shows. I think that comes across, that everyone it was a real positive every day, every set, no matter what, no complaining. They just, positivity. Everyone wants everyone to succeed. That's great. That's a great feeling when you're around people like that. It's great.
Definitely. And so one of my questions was, who has influenced you and why? And I did notice that you said Rob Zombie. Were there any other people?
Toby, of course. Texas Chainsaw is my favorite, like slasher movie. My all-time favorite movie is Jaws. I mean, it's dated. It's dated, but just the writing and the feel of it and the amazement of it is just, it's just such a great movie. I can watch, if I pass it on TV, and I've seen it so many times, I'm like, I'm stuck. Here I go. I'm watching it again. But I think Quentin Tarantino is probably the biggest influence overall. I think you can kind of see that in my writing and what my ideas were with this, with the outfits, and he's kind of out there too. He's amazing. Pulp Fiction changed the game. It was a game changer. And there's only a few movies. Texas Chainsaw was a game changer. There's only a few. Jaws was a game changer. Like, game changers, there's only a few out there. And Pulp Fiction changed. Like, he's such a brilliant dialogue and writing, and it's such an important part of a movie. Is just smart, and it keeps you interested. Every one of his movies keeps you interested from start A to Z, and I really, really loved his Grindhouse movie. I thought it was great. Death Proof, and his Rodriguez and him work together. Rodriguez is great, but Tarantino's probably my biggest influence, followed by Zombie.
I like that.
Did you like his Halloweens? I loved 1,000 Corpses. To me, is like, I think of it as me doing Tales, and he comes back. And Devil's Rejects to me is absolutely genius. It's such a masterpiece of a movie. You can see how he just evolved. The Halloweens, I don't know if it's because they're remakes, but they kind of left me, they were good, but they kind of left me middling. There's a lot about them that I don't like. There's a lot about them I do like. And then 31, and again, there's some things I like about it, but I'm hoping that he comes back with something that just, blows everyone away. I'm rooting for him. He's such a talented dude. I want to see him come back with like something that just knocks us out of the park again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. He's got to. That can't be the end of his legacy,
Not 31. I agree. I agree.
He's got to keep going. Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite. I actually almost, when I was picking out my outfit today, I was like, I had a baby Firefly shirt, and I was like, I kind of was skeptical about putting it on, because I'm like, well, what if it's someone who's like anti-Rob Zombie? And then I just didn't.
Who's anti-Rob Zombie? I want to meet him now. No one can be anti-Rob Zombie.
I was like, I don't need that negativity.
That's awesome. Did you like 3 from Hell?
I did. I know a lot of people You did too?
Yeah, I thought it was. You're not gonna get. You're not gonna get Devil's Rejects. I thought it was kind of cool how they, it had a natural born killer feel with the reporters and all that kind of, So it was definitely, it was cool. It was a good movie. More grindhousey,
Yeah.
kind of, which I like. So some interesting characters. I love what's his the guy Brake, is that David Brake, or the guy who yeah, he's such a good actor. He's so good. He is so good. And so is in I mean, they're all good, and it was sad that Sid passed in that one too. That was, that kind of made the story change, and so, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he did the best that he could despite the circumstances, with Sid Haig. And um I went I went by myself and watched it because, like, I live in Texas, and a lot of times when they have special events or something like that, we don't get it. So I looked it up ahead of time and I saw that we were gonna have it, and I was like, I will go by myself if I have to. And I did, and it was sad. It was sad seeing Sid Haig up there. And but I loved watching Baby Firefly, or Vera, however you want to say her name, descend more into her lunacy. Like whenever she's like sitting there talking about, I think she's in her jail cell and she's like talking about the cats and dancing and everything. I just was like, I thought it was great.
Great character. What part of I was stationed in San Antonio and Lackland, so I spent some time in Texas before.
That's awesome. I'm more southeast Texas, kind of on the border of Louisiana. I'm about 2 hours from Houston.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But and then I liked, sorry for getting off on a tangent, but
Right.
I liked Baby Firefly's role with the guy, the guy that came in and helped her, because he reminded her of Tiny because he was like the opposite. And I just kind of like that they still paid ode to him, even though he wasn't in the film and everything. But yeah, I definitely I love that. And then, like, with Halloween 1 and 2 that he did, I like them both. 2 is a bit much with 2's, I like 2. I know a lot of people don't like that they had the ghost of the mom come back, but I mean, that's his adaptation, and that's
Right.
him. And you don't want it to be the same exact thing. You don't want a carbon copy of something you've already seen.
Absolutely. And I'll take bad horror any day over any movie anyway. So it doesn't matter. Like I'll be like, I'll take this, keep making them, So I got you.
That's so cool. And so what did you come up with the title for your film, or was it like a group effort?
I did. That was the title of the album I had, my first album, Tale of a Scorpio Stinger. And I'm a Scorpio, and basically it was going to be, it's like my life tale, like the songs in the first album were all, kind of like my life journey. And I thought that when I was writing this, I wanted to blend it all in. So in the movie, the last song is actually my band, the hard band playing. We recorded that, we produced it, and that's my band. I'm singing, and one of my best friends is the other singer. There's 2 singers, and my best friend I grew up with when I was like, since I was like 5 or 6 years old, he's the guitar player. So yeah, I've always wanted that to be, it was this whole thing that I've had thinking about in my head, like that's been going like this forever, and it just finally started happening, so it was always in my mind. That was the name of the first thing I was going to do.
That's really cool. I like how you did that. What would be, let's see, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's just starting out in filmmaking?
Surround yourself with awesome people. Surround yourself with talented people, because you're only going to be as good as the people around you. If you're amazing and, all these people around you, if there's something that's not right, then it's going to be hard to make everything happen. I was fortunate and blessed enough to have amazing people around me. I think that's important. And I'll go back to the advice somebody gave me. always write within your capabilities or direct within your capabilities. So no, like writing what you can work with. Like, don't write about, don't waste time writing about something that you can't make happen unless you have a $400,000 budget, I did everything with between 2,500 and 5,000 bucks, which was pretty good. So, I mean,
Wow.
I squeezed as much out of it as I could out of everything. But my most important, I think the biggest thing would be, surround yourself with amazing positive people, because you'll get things done with positive people.
Right. Um, if you were to explain your style, what would you explain it as, or is it still a work in progress?
I think it's still a work in progress. I mean, I'm always going to be me. I'm involved. I'm a very vocal and involved person, and I know what I want, but but I want to also let the interpretation come from the actor. So I think I'm still evolving with the game, and we'll see how it goes from here. But I know in here I know what I want, and I think everyone you have to approach differently. I don't think there's a way to approach I don't think it's cut and dry where you can approach every situation the same way. There's a lot of different personalities and people. I haven't worked with anyone but there are people that are talented that are, that I'm sure I'll come across that are a little tricky to work with. So I think it's going to be just a work in progress, but just being confident. I think I'm very confident in what I want and my capabilities. And I think that comes across for sure.
Yeah, you definitely have to believe in yourself, and the confidence is key. So, um, oh, okay. So for your upcoming, you're gonna do another one. Do you plan to do like an Indiegogo campaign, or is that something that you're still gonna try and do the funding for yourself?
I feel so, honestly, I'd love to do one, but I feel so weird asking somebody for money to help me make a project. I know people do it, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it's I don't know. I've never. I think I'm just gonna do it myself again, and I already have the location. A friend of mine has lent me a dare camp out in the woods in Vermont, where it's going to be filmed. This time I'm going to have some actors that have never acted before, some bad guys. So in the movie, the first movie, that's my mother. The lady at the end, that's my mother. So in this one, I'm gonna have my dad actually as the father of Julian Bram, and it's gonna be more of a, I envision more like a little blend of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with that craziness, you stupid son of a bitch type, and he's huge, and my dad's like this, like a little old guy. So I think that it's not going to be it's not a cost issue if you have the locations and you have people to help you out. It's more or less, spending money because I have to take time off of work and stuff like that. But nothing's going to stop me. If it's something I love, I'm going to find a way to do it. And I just feel weird saying, hey, Heather, you mind sending me $100 so I can make my dreams come true? What about Heather? Heather has dreams, so it's hard. It's a balance for me. I feel really weird asking people for money for that. I know they do. I know it's out there.
No, I totally understand. I would be the same way, but I mean, like I myself, I've contributed to a couple of campaigns,
I
and
have too.
you
Yeah.
later down the line, if you ever did, like I would do whatever I could to help support. Like I just, want to see your dreams come true. I think what you've done is great, and I look forward to the second one, and third or fourth if there is another. And um, yeah, so if you ever did come to that, like I would be happy to promote and help share and
This
support
is
as much.
helping a tremendous amount. Just reaching the horror community. I've just started venturing into the horror community, like in liking and following people and checking out their stuff. It's cool, man. It's a lot smaller of a group than you think, and Everyone's real. The one thing about the horror community, it's a very welcoming community. You know, everyone's great. You know, I mean, I'm on a app called Slasher. So I use that a lot, and everyone's super nice there. Everyone, you know, I mean, it's a great community. The horror community is special. And I love it, and I love everyone in it. And so what you're doing right now helps. So any amount that I can reach people to check out the movie, that all helps tenfold. You know, and I appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. I think it's great that I can be on your platform and reach other people to see Tales of a Scorpio Stinger. It's awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you, because I mean, like, I don't know a lot about indie horror, but I have a soft spot for it. Oh my gosh. And you know, I just feel like it needs more awareness, and you know, a lot of people, when they do podcasts, they kind of shoot for the larger budgeted films and everything, and then, you know, indie horror gets left out, and I hate that. But you know, like, thank you for coming on, because you could go on anything, and, you know, choosing to come on mine, you know, it means the world to me. And you know, I just want to help you get whatever exposure you can. And
thank you.
You're welcome. And speaking of the Slasher app, I just interviewed Damon Wednesday.
Nice. Yeah, Damon's great.
Yeah, he really is.
He lives close to me. I told him, I said, you're close enough to do a cameo. I need to get you on to do a little cameo appearance. You know, you're too close not to. He said that could be fun. I'm like, it will be. So I'm trying to. I want to get him on. I think that would be great. But yeah, he seems like a good dude. You know, yeah. It's a cool platform that he put together. You know, very smart.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't imagine coming up with that. So, okay, I'm going to ask a few questions. So if you could work with any director who, like, for an upcoming film, or actor, actress, you know, what would your dream cast be, for acting, directing, writing, whatever?
I would love to see Leonardo in a horror movie. I doubt he'll do it, but I would love to see him in a horror movie, and I'd love to do it with him. I mean, Leonardo and Brad Pitt, I mean, they did the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, it's not, it has some horror moments, you know, but can you imagine them in a real horror movie? It would be phenomenal, you know? So I would love to have worked on that film. I love the cast. You got Tarantino. That would have been my dream film to work on. To be like, so the people in that movie, I would have loved to have been one of Manson's people or whatever that they throw around and thrash around at the end. That would have been amazing. That movie. I love that movie. I really, really loved it. I've been trying to stay away from previews because they show you so much of the movie. So I went into that movie in the theater and I didn't watch anything. And the twist at the end, and I thought they were all going to die. And I was like, yes! I was like, so it just blew me away. I love the ending I just love that movie. But that would be my dream cast right there. Perfect cast.
That would be awesome. Maybe one day it can happen for you.
Charlize would be fun to work with too. I mean, Charlize. Yeah, she's amazing. Her role in Monster still to this day is one of the best performances ever. Transformation performances ever. It's amazing. You watch a real woman in court, and then you see that and you're like, oh my God, she's phenomenal. She's phenomenal.
She did quite the transformation. She's very, very gifted. Let's see. So what do you have coming up outside of the Tales of a Scorpio Stinger? Do you have any other upcoming project or latest news there?
So I'm focusing on Tales of a Scorpio Stinger episode 2, When Pigs Fly. I want to release that. I'm hoping to get this all done if the pandemic works with me for another Halloween release weekend. I think that's kind of cool. And then I have a movie. This one is going to be a full-length movie I'm going to upgrade a little of my camera equipment to make sure that it's just shot, everything is perfect in it. I have a really good idea. It's something I also have had for a long time. It has a little social value to it, where it's kind of, it's something that's going on in the world today right now, and it you know, it it could piss people off, and it might not piss people off. It's going to be an edgy kind of, but it's like Hostel meets uh it's hard to say without giving it away, but I do have, and I've already started, I have uh pages already worked on, like the script I've already have going, like I was doing both at the same time. And so yeah, that's what my next project's going to be. And it's going to be something totally different from Tales, for sure.
Well, you said Hostel, so you already have my attention.
I love the Hostels.
Me too. I love Eli Roth. What is your favorite subgenre of horror? Do you have one, or?
I would believe, I think that I really like all of it. I'd say my least favorite. I'm not a big like fake demon guy. Like I like reality horror. Like, so I like slasher and Texas Chain. Like I like real tangible, like this could happen. I'm not big into the demons and stuff coming from basements. I'm not that kind of stuff. I'll watch it because like I said, I'll watch any horror movie. But the supernatural stuff, you know, I like the Conjuring movies to me. And now a lot of people are going to be like, how dare you? But to me, they were like Disney horror to me. The Conjuring, all of them. Annabelle too. I like The Nun more than I like out of that whole series. I really like The Nun. I thought it was scarier than all of them. But to me, the paranormals were smart. They were genius. But there's only so long I can just watch a door moving back and forth while people are sleeping. It's like I like real, like Jason before he became like. There's a lot of Jason and Halloween people that can go on for episode and episode, and he keeps coming back. I'm more when before they start going like carried away. I like more the first few that I do the rest. I'm more of a realist kind of guy. That's why I love zombie, like these people that can be really wacky out there, killing people. So, because there really are people like, that are wacky. So I'm more of a realist for horror. That's my favorite kind of genre for that.
Yeah. And I will agree. Was it the third Conjuring? Annabelle Comes Home? Was that what it was?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, I liked it, but I mean, like, I feel like I could sit down and watch that with my kids because it, like you said, it was more of like a Disney thing. Like, there weren't even any kills, were they? Like,
I don't think so. It's like Disney, I don't think there's any kills. Is there kills in The Conjuring too? I mean, there's a scary, like, affects monsters and witches, but I don't know if anyone dies, do they? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but yeah, I mean, they're kind of Disney. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you my favorite genre, rated R. I am not a PG guy. I am not a PG guy. I'm going to swear right now. Yeah. Fuck PG. That's basically me in a nutshell.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I mean, you want to watch a horror movie, you want to see the elements of horror. You don't want to be watching it, left out so that it appeals to a broader audience. It's right. Just.
I mean, there are a couple PG movies that, I'm not going to say every PG horror movie was awful. I mean, there's some, but ultimately, if I see a movie and it says PG, I'm going to be like, how far are you going to go if it's PG? We're talking right. Disney horror, so,
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Were there any like horror movies or anthology series growing up that kind of like molded the way for you, or?
Yeah. The scariest movie to me when I was growing up, like I ended up seeing Friday the 13th, and that scared the shit out of me. The first time when he's in the basement with the that was that one really. Jason didn't Jason and the Friday 13th, to me, they're not scary. You know, it's
Mhm.
like some guy walking really slow. He ends up catching everybody somehow, and he, he kills them. It's always like a kill, but it's not a scary kill to me. It's just like like somebody's dying kind of afraid, but it's not like where Freddy was like legitimately, with the burns and Freddy and that whole series. Two was, but Dream Warriors, that was when Freddy, it was before he turned too comical. That movie, prime time bitch and all that, the lines in that movie, and that was one of the best horror movies ever, actually. Dream Warriors was a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that, I think Freddy was probably, Halloween was good, but again, I liked it, but then to me, when it keeps going and going and going, to me, it's hard for me to stay with it. Now, most people, I know horror fanatics, they stick with it, and the 6, 7, I mean, it's better than, following, the Mighty Ducks 7 or whatever, you know what I mean? But it loses me after a while. We'll watch it here and there, but I'm not, I like the just the first few, a couple usually for something.
Totally understandable. Um, let's see. What do you hope to set your films apart from everyone else's?
It's a good question. Authenticity. That's what I think. I want to be authentic. I don't want it to feel forced. I don't want, coming from my own budget, owning my own equipment. It's going to be how I want it. Like, it's going to be in my vision. And, there's some movies out there that when it hits these big time, and I don't put myself there by any means, but, but when it's, you hear like the last Star Wars, they took his movie and were like, we don't care you directed it. They basically remade the movie on him, so I just feel like when I make a movie, you're going to see who I am, and it's going to reflect who I am. And that's all. I just want it to be authentic. I just want somebody to see it, whether they like it or not. And say, all right, he put his heart into it. I don't like it, but it's authentic. And he put his heart into it. That's the most important thing for me, bar none.
Right. I like that answer. Is there any kind of message that you do hope to get across with your work or future work? Or what do you have like a certain kind of legacy you want to leave behind in doing so?
I wouldn't I wouldn't think about that. I would hope that I get enough done to form some sort of a legacy or something where people can look at, multiple works. Right now it's hard, you never know one day to the next. I have something right now, but I don't think about anything like that other than the next project because it's fun. It's like, it's so much fun to do that's all that matters to me is it's fun. And it's so much goes into it. This is what I do. So I'm not, my music days are pretty much, I've stopped kind of doing it. Will I play again? I don't know, but I love doing this. This is so much fun that I can't see stopping. So none of that really matters. Just keep making stuff and let the chips fly where they, where they do.
Right. Okay, so we talked about working and stuff. So what do you do to relax or unwind?
Hang out with my animals, and this actually now this is because I do have other jobs to help pay for this, or I have another job, so this is what I do to unwind. This is like writing and getting into this imaginary place. To some it's reading a book. For me it's writing and maybe pulling up the movie and working on the edit, and that to me is unwinding now. That it's a safe spot for me. It's a good place to be happy.
Yeah. Let's see. If you could have 5 people sitting at a table with you, having drinks, eating dinner, coffee, tea, whatever, who would you want at your table, and what would you like to discuss with them? They can be dead, alive, it doesn't matter.
5 people. Wow. Well, for one, it won't make a lot of people happy, but I'm a huge Tom Brady fan, growing up a Patriot. So I would love to have Tom Brady, and it ain't even just because of, football. It's just he's a super positive guy. He's a winner, and I would love to hear his insight. Just to sit with him without a camera and a microphone, like to get the cliche answers. I'd love to see, hear, what he says, behind, in privacy. I would love to sit down, have Tarantino there. I don't think I would, Brad Pitt and Leonardo. I'd love to have Quentin Tarantino there. I think on that. I would love to have Phil from Pantera there. I think he would add the dirt that I need at the table. Keep it real. Like you can't have too much good Tom Brady, clean, shiny Brady. I need to have some Phil there, throwing some F-bombs to keep it real. So yeah, those three. I'm a huge I grew up a huge Jim Morrison fan. I would love to have him there so he can interject with some stuff that might not mean much, but he says it. He'll say something and be like, okay, and next, I would love to love to sat with him and after he had a couple beers and hear what he had to say. That's for sure. And I think I would want at least a woman there for some different perspective. You know who I'd like to have? And I would love to have Jodie Foster. If I was gonna have a woman on the table, because I don't know, she knew Dennis Hopper, and she started at such a young age, and she's something, I'm not too keen on a lot of her new stuff, but Silence of the Lambs. I don't know how many times I've seen that movie. I mean, she's awesome in that movie. Yeah, she's somebody who I'd love to, if it was a female, to be at the table to hear her perspective for sure.
Yeah, I like her in that, and the little girl who lives down the lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was it.
Yeah, amazing. I just wrote about that the other day. Yeah, I actually just saw that recently. I didn't even, and I was like, because I read something where she was young and she was in it and it was controversial because she takes her shirt off. That's never going to happen, today. And Martin Sheen, who's in Apocalypse Now, what a creep he played. Such a great actor, man. He is such a weirdo. That movie actually was the way he behaved was, to me, was creepier than a lot of the Conjuring. I'm like, this guy's a creep. He played such a good creep in that movie. But yeah, and Tatum O'Neal would kind of she was doing a lot of stuff at a young age, and she saw those actors, both of them saw some stuff at a young age that a lot of people don't see. Those days are over. They don't subject the people that, but they were at a different time where they saw some crazy shit, in the movies.
Right. That's true. Well, I guess, let's see. I guess I'll close out with Shag, Marry, Kill, if that's okay. I'll give you a few of those because I got to go pick up my little ones.
What's that?
I said, I wish I had more time.
No problem. This is perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, actually, I want to ask one more question before I go into that. Have you ever come up with something that's just so wild and crazy as an idea that you're just like, where the hell did I come up with that? What the fuck could I do with it? And just, wondering where it came from, but has that ever happened to you and you just want to find some way to make it work?
I have had something like that happen. And the problem is, today's day and age, I wouldn't do something to appease people, but it was kind of wacky. It's a wacky thing where I don't think it would work because it's too risque of what I would want to do. But I want to push boundaries, but I don't want to be like there's certain movies, like we said, Hostel, that pushed a boundary and was shock. And I don't want to, even if I think of something, I don't want to do it just to do it, to be a shocker. So sometimes what I'll do with that is that idea, I'm like, and I'll take something from it to put in when I'm working in, so it's hard to take every idea and make it into this grand, production. So what I'll do is I'll steal, like I'll wake up and I'll be like, well, that's crazy. And I'm like, oh, and I'll write it down and maybe put that in. And I just actually did this for When Pigs Fly. So yeah, it's kind of a weird little a couple minutes, but yeah, so just steal from it and just incorporate it into what I'm doing now. Because it's hard to do everything. So, but if it's good enough, put it in somewhere, find it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I'll give you some Mary Fuck Kill or Fuck Mary Kill, however you say it. It's gonna be horror edition. And I'm gonna like mix the characters around. Like some will be villains, some will be not villains.
Okay.
Okay, so between Danny from Midsummer, the pinup girl from Strangers Pray at Night, and then Annabelle.
So
Shag, Mary, Kill.
yeah, shag Annabelle, marry the girl from Midsummer, and then kill
Pinup girl.
pinup girl.
Okay, how about the girl who played American Mary? Have you seen May?
Of course. Such a bizarre movie, but yes.
I know. And then let's see. What's her name? Asami from Audition. I know I said that wrong. Audition.
I know who you're talking about. Definitely shag May. Definitely kill Audition. And then the first one I would marry.
Okay. Let me see if I can come up with one more. We'll do a Final Girls one. Nancy. Is it Nancy Thompson? I can't even think right now. Sally Hardesty or Jenny Field?
Jenny Field.
Okay.
I would definitely, that would be the one I would marry. The first one, kill, and then the second would definitely be the shag, for sure.
Sounds good.
There's certain people I'd want to kill. I'd probably want to kill the more like beautiful ones. I'd be like, I want to kill them. I think they kill better, And then the really like geeky, dorky ones, I'd want to shag, and then the merry ones would be kind of in the middle, crazy people.
You like them crazy?
Yeah, I don't mind. Gotta have some excitement. Right? You don't want it too boring, right? So keep it on your feet.
Exactly. Well, I'd like to use this time now for you to be able to plug yourself, for Instagram, YouTube. Like you said, what was it, Reverb Nation that you have?
Reverb Nation. That's Jostel, Jostel on Reverb Nation's all my music. Jason J. Eliot is Instagram. The link for the movie. YouTube just gave us the Tales of a Scorpio Stinger link, so that's kind of cool. It's official. But my link is on the Instagram page. If you go to my bio, it's there. It's in the bio of my Slasher app. I'm also Jason J. Eliot and Slasher. And their Slasher's growing too, so it's kind of cool how that's all going to merge together. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for giving me, anyone who gives the time to watch the movie. And, I can't ask for much more than that. That's just, time's precious. Like you say, you have little ones, you have this, everyone's doing stuff, And another thing is attention spans. There's a reason why TikTok is popular, because it's 10 seconds or it's like, bah, 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 bah. Okay, on to the next one. So to be able to keep someone's attention, that's amazing, So I appreciate that people give me their attention and their time. It's awesome. Thank you too. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I can't wait to see what you come up with in the future. And if you ever want to come back on, like when it's closer to your second episode or any future works, I'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely. I would love that. I'll see you on Instagram.
All right. You have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Have a glorious day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.